Right, just a quick live stream here. I was going through some bits and pieces and I thought I'll do an update on the channel because I've got quite a few items which are in the pipeline which need reviewing, and I'm going to go through what they are very briefly. So bear in mind, this isn't a review, this is just a sneak peek on what I've got upcoming. I mean, I've spent most of the day, the wind's terrible today, I've spent most of the day doing DIY, and I've actually hurt my thumb a bit. Where is it? There. Hurt my thumb a bit on the Leatherman Wave. I was mucking around doing a lot of DIY, but that's done. So let's concentrate on what I'm actually going to be doing. So I've finished my review of the Lumintop. Now it's the Lumintop, if I can get it to focus in it, the Lumentop HL3A. Very impressed with this. I'm not going to give my findings on that. You can wait for the review because I don't want to slapdash and say, right, this is all you need to know, the end. Buy it or don't buy it. I think it's important that I go through it with you, but I'll certainly give you a few points. I've liked the size wind, massive. Just a comment there from CS, I'm getting there. Hi TT, hello there CS, nice to see you in the chat there. So triple emitter. At first I didn't like the button, but I'm getting used to it, put it that way. And it's Android UI, so it's got all the things I like. So 1 2 3 4, bang, put it back on, there's turbo, nice. And CS in the chats there saying size matters. Well, it can do, put it that way, it certainly can do. For example, if you get hit with an air rifle, it doesn't hurt. If you get hit by a 45 slug, it definitely does. So that's pretty good, but I'll be going over that, and I certainly will be comparing that to a lot of the other lights. In that regards, I do have another headlamp to look at, but I'll go over that eventually with you. But that's just one of the items which I'm going to be looking at. Also still in the pipeline, which I haven't even taken it out of the packet yet. Another Nitecore product here. This is actually the Chinese version by the looks of it. But they're all exactly the same as the Nitecore Tiki. Now, can you remember, cast your mind back, if you're an avid viewer, if you cast it back and think of what happened when I went for my nighttime walk. And what I did was I did a little walkabout with small pocket-sized torches. In other words, an EDC that you're always going to have on you. Generally, you can put it on your keychain or something like that. And if you remember, I compared this to this. Now this is the Rovivon. Now not everyone's aware of these unless you're a bit of a sort of a flashlight geek, but this is the Rovivon. This is the A8. Pretty decent. I liked it. Those things I didn't like about it, firstly the price obviously, which is rather high for what you're getting, and lastly it has pulse width modulation. I'm not going to go into that under this is just a very quick video, but if you do want to know about that, you can go and check out my review, which I covered. In pulse width modulation in regards to this light is basically something of an irritation to how the beam looks. But some people that will have no effect, and that's fine to them. But look how much, bear in mind, this is Rovivon and this is a Nitecore. Do you agree with me, and I'll take the clip off so you can see properly side by side, do you agree with me that there are striking and shocking similarities in design? Let's put them together and let's get a close look. They both have this bezel with the USB there. They both have this sort of pill-shaped button. Yes, that one's slightly longer and the bezel's slightly longer on that. And then have the auxiliary LEDs to the top, and then they have an attachment point. They're very, very similar, aren't they? I mean, if I was a copyright lawyer, I would spit out my coffee and call into work early that day. But I'm not making any claims here on what the have or haven't done. That's just an observation I'm making. So I'll be very interested to see. Now, similarities aside, and I'll put that to one side, I'm looking forward to testing this because my ThruNite Ti3, which has been a good workhorse, it's been on my keyrings for a long period of time, has starting to come to the end of its life, starting to get loose and fall off. So I'm looking for a replacement, and this might be it. A little bit of branding on this side there. I think on maximum you're getting about 300. I've always said this, and if you'll probably notice this if you watch any of my videos, 300 lumens is about the area you want to be to get most work done up close, in a room, in the garage or something like that, in the car when you're out and about. Yeah, you're not going to get mega distance, but it's generally enough. And I'll just see if that works. This should be charged. Yeah, so there's 300. Pretty nice light there. It's actually using the Osram P8 LED, which is very interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. You also have some auxiliary lights. I think there is a high CRI, which is probably that one there, and this one here is the UV, I think. Although I know a little bit of Chinese, but I can't pronounce that. I don't know. I'm very poor with the traditional Chinese texts there. But I think is it double click to get the double click must go to low mode, and then that changes mode. So we'll turn that off. Ah, there you go. So that, I'm presuming that's UV. It doesn't look very purpley, but it may be. And how do you change the next one? Right, that's actually gone at the top. It's so bright, you can't actually see that where it's coming from there, but that's the slightly uppermost LED, and that's a high CRI. Pretty nice warm light, and that would be handy if you wanted it. I mean, you can't tail stand this, but you can top stand it and have it where it's enabling you to do a bit of work. So we'll turn that off, but I'm looking forward to having a look at that. And like I say, now why is that flashing? I've just found another mode I didn't know about. Right, turn off. Right, I think that's turned off. Right, boosh, get rid of that. So like I say, I'm definitely going to compare that to this, which is strikingly similar. So get that to one side. Now what else have I got? Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of Skilhunt. One of the things I really enjoy about the Skilhunt is, and it was the perfect example was the HO3, which is the headlamp. It was extremely thin, very light, which is exactly what you need when something's stuck on your head. Otherwise, you end up with like a wrestler's neck, and you don't necessarily want that. Now, within that, I've been able to get hold of the Skilhunt M200. Quite interesting. It's a smooth reflector, side switched. I normally prefer a tail switch, but it's not the end of the world. They're quoting 1100, but as you know, I think I may have mentioned that on the HO3 review, that's not necessarily what you call an ANSI figure. In other words, what actually comes out at the end may or may not actually be 1100 lumens. It can be significantly lower than that, but we shall see. I mean, I'll give you a quick look. What's this? Pull to open it, a pop-up book. Right, let's have a quick look. So what do you get in here? Where's the light? I've been ripped off. Ah, no, there it is. Right. Now, why is that flashing? That shouldn't be engaged. Okay, so here's just a quick look. If I can get to zoom in, come on, there you go. Right. So Skilhunt. This is interesting. They haven't gone for the normal cross-hatched knurling. It's striped. Now, interesting that they've gone for this blue accent, almost as if they've taken design inspiration from Olight. Here's the Olight baton. So again, another company which may or may not be taking design aspects from other companies. But hey, if it works for Olight, why not let Skilhunt do it? Obviously, this is a TIR, and this is a smooth reflector. Very interesting. For a smooth reflector, that's normally what I would refer to as a thrower. In other words, you're trying to get a bit of distance. I don't know why they've gone for a smooth thrower in this. I would have probably preferred to have seen an orange peel reflector or a TIR, which gives you a much better spread. But okay, that's what they've chosen to do in this instance. And interestingly, magnetic charging. Normally these companies will put it on the base. You know, like you've got the Army Tech here, and Olight, I've got the Olight H2R Nova, which does the same. And the magnetic base goes on here and charges without having to remove the cell. Actually, just interestingly, look at this. I dropped this onto concrete from quite a height. And as you can see, I picked it up and it's still going, no problems whatsoever. That was a massive bash that it took. And you can see, massive bash, it's gone right into the metal, but hey, it still works absolutely fine. I've always found that with the Army Tech stuff. I think this comes with about a 10-meter drop rating, which is extremely high for this sort of light. Also the waterproofing's very, very high, but I think that's something that you find on most of the Army Tech stuff. But back to this anyway, so that there should be, it's probably in this section, there should be a magnetic charger. Yeah, let's just have a quick look. Okay, that's interesting. So there's the magnetic charger there. So this is obviously a type A end of the USB cable. I don't know what all that white stuff is. Looks like someone's been brushing their teeth. What the hell is that? Either that or it's free cocaine. I don't know what that is. Okay, but back to this. So there's your charger. It's slightly spring loaded there. And then obviously all you would do is you would just attach that, bang, like that. And that's going to charge. Very handy feature, especially if this is a daily driver. And when I say daily driver, it means something you're using for work. You can just come in from work, clip like that, bang, go away, do your stuff. When that changes color, take it off, and you know it's going to be ready for the next day. The only problem I have with this design here is, let's think about this. Right, let's imagine you take this out of your pocket, okay? You're feeling around for a flat surface and you're going to go, ah, there's the button. Oh, it's not the button. Oh, that's the button. That's the only problem I would have. If you remember in the review of the, was it the M3 or the M6 by Convoy, the big fatty one, the big problem I had with that, I loved the light and there was a lot to like about it, especially capacity wise, and it was nice and rugged, but I wasted about 6 seconds every time I took it out of my pocket. Because bearing in mind, you use a flashlight in the dark primarily, that's the whole point of them. So I would take it out, fumble, 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 there's the button. This is going to be even worse. It's going to be fumble, fumble, nope, still not the button, fumble again, right, now I found the button. So it'll be interesting during the review to see if that becomes a pain in the backside. In regards to this light, I must say thank you to Jimmy Mack, who enabled me to get a hold of this for review. He's been a big supporter of the channel, but I'll go over that in the review. So I just wanted to show you that one there. There's also some other stuff I've got to go through. Thanks to another guy who tipped me off. I'll be looking at this. So there's probably not a lot of people, unless I'm a complete idiot, and I should know better, but there's probably not many people who've heard of this. Now, this is a Finnish company. And when I say Finnish, I don't mean they've just finished a race, as in they are from Finland, called Lumonite. I hadn't heard of them. So we'll just have a quick look at this. So you're getting about 1200 lumens. It is a headlamp, this one. Battery and charger included, sturdy unibody structure without any moving parts. Water and impact resistant. I like it when companies say that something's resistant, because I get sick of companies saying things are, you know, waterproof, and they're not waterproof. Stop saying that. So good on Luminite for doing that. Simple user interface, easy to detachable. I like the sounds of that. Compatible with a multi-dock charger. I don't have that, but that sounds like something you can get. I've seen Nitecore do something similar. 5-year warranty. I'm impressed with that. So let's have a quick look at this. So light output, you've got about 1200 lumens. That's their claim. I certainly haven't tested that yet. You've got a moonlight mode, which is 5. Gives you 25 days on the battery that they supply, I presume. And then you've got low 80 lumens, medium 240, high 630, and on so on. Now they're saying you get, okay, that's not bad. As you know, I quite like a, what do you call, a sub-lumen mode or 1 lumen mode. But I suppose ahead, you could argue that if this is going on your head, you're bringing it away from what you're looking at. A sub-lumen mode no longer makes a lot of it sort of point, really. But let's just have a quick look at this. So Lumonite, 1200 lumens. Like I say, Compass R is the model. I'd never heard of it. Now look at that. That looks very, very similar to the Wizard. This is the Wizard Pro version 3 from Armitech. Now you can see the similarities there. You've got the heatsink on the neck section there, then you've got the section for connection, then you've got a bulbous section which is, I presume, charging. I don't know how this one charges, but I will have a look. And then you've got the TIR section here, and then a yellow light. So there's a lot of similarities there, but I don't necessarily think that they're trying to do a knockoff, because it looks probably quite complicated, this one. Let's have a quick look. So we'll get this open. Like I say, this isn't a review, but I will be doing proper reviews, because as you know, it takes me quite some time. Generally, it takes about 2 weeks to go through each item. So how do you get into this? What does this say? Quick guide. This lamp is shipped with the tail cap loose to prevent unintentional switching on. Okay, that makes sense. Shut up and let me in. Aha, interesting. So that must be the headband. Very interesting. Now, that's an interesting attachment method. It reminds me of the headband. In fact, I'll just show you if I can find it. Right, here's the Armitech. Now, one of the things I like about the Armitech is you can quickly put this on, attach it. Yes, you can secure it like that with the band, but you don't have to. You can just do it like that. The only problem is, over time, I've noticed this is, look, that comes out easily. I can no longer rely on that to retain that. So I would always use the band like that, always. Now that's a shame, because I loved this design. I thought it was superior to all the others, but look, that's becoming loose, which is a massive shame, because I like the Armitech stuff. So I think this design is probably better in comparison, because this is all metal. So if that ever does loosen, you can just bend it a bit. So let's take that out and let's have a comparison together. So where did I put that? So where's the Armitech? I've lost it. Well, I've got no idea where I've put that now. I was going to compare it, but I'm unable to do that. I can't seem to find it. There it is. Okay, so let's check. So the Lumentop is at the top here, and this is the Lumonite. So there are similarities there, but straight off I can see that the bezel is deeper on this, which, yes, it provides more protection. The unfortunate problem with that is you get a worse view, well, I'm saying worse, less ideal angle of light. This is a much better design, a shallow bezel like that, and it's angled. That's closer to what you get on the SP40, which, although it's a very, very cheap headlamp, gives you this excellent wide angle, which is exactly what you need in a headlamp. Also, that looks bigger to me, which again is a massive advantage. So I'm very impressed with that. Now that's interesting. Look, this is obviously sort of squared off. That's almost like three-pointed. Very interesting. Then this is smooth, and then there's an attachment point. Right, so they use a very similar method. So this is the Lumentop on the right, and this is the Luminite. So they both use a magnetic charge on the back there. So yeah, you can make yourself a ninja weapon there. That's very interesting. But they're both magnetic charging, and yeah, that's been lessened off. So for a double click, there you go. Okay, so pretty nice light, very bright, and again, look, you can see that's given a nice wide angle. It's very hard to see on camera because it's only picking up the most lit up bit, but that angle is actually right out there. So I'll be very impressed with testing that. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Not that this is a bad light, but I will be testing that against a lot of other lights, a lot of them. So put that on one side. So those are just some of the things which I am going to be going through. I'm quite, like I say, I'm looking forward to going through the Nitecore Tiki. I want to test it against the other Nitekores I've got. Obviously there's the Tip 2, which I really like, 720 lumens. I love this magnetic base, so I'll be comparing it against that. And then obviously the obvious, which is the Tip, and the Tiny, or Tinny, or however the hell you're supposed to pronounce it, I don't know. So I'll be having a look at those. But I just want to go through some basic stuff, and I'll try not to make this too long, so I'm going to go now. I've got a lot more DIY to do today, and like I say, the review for this is finished, but it takes me days and days to edit these things, unfortunately, because it just does. So I'll get on with that, and I'll stop talking now, and I'll let people get on with their day. So and while I'm here, I just want to say thank you to all the subscribers, because like I say, they generally know more than I do, so they're very, 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 very helpful to me, and I appreciate that. So take care, everybody, stay safe, and I'll leave you with that.